Hello everyone, Macaulay Keba here. You might know me as Nintendo Fan 10039, or Nintendo Fan if you watch my streaming stuff on Twitch. However, this time I will be bringing you a little bit of a different thing, being some game projects. This one is my first one that I did. It's still in pre-alpha, I want to say. It's working and everything, but it's not quite where I want it. I want it to have more levels and some hazards and whatnot. But I thought I'd give you guys a quick show of what it plays like and also the code behind it. So I made this with Unity. It's just a rollerball game. If you're familiar with the tutorials on Unity, that's what I based this on. Just a nice little copy paste sort of thing. I might want to add some sound effects to picking up the little items, the little collectibles in this game. That'll be coming, and you'll also notice how there's shadows, which are kind of nice. It stutters a little bit. I'm not sure why that is, but and then nice little win text, and you can see a count in the top left hand corner of how many things you have collected. So that's basically that. I can't quit any other way by pressing on the Windows key and then closing the window. I will also have to implement that at some point. But now that you've seen what that's all about, I want to take you through my different scripts. I'll take you through the different materials as well, and the prefabs. So the background, pretty simple stuff that just displays the ground color. You can change it as you wish. The pickup, that is for the little square diamond things. You can mess around with that color if you want. And the pickup is just the cube. I've rotated them slightly so that they're more pleasing to the eye. This first scene is just this first level. For additional levels, I'll just make more scenes and, maybe make some holes and maybe a main menu so that, if you run out of lives, let's say, this one's a fairly simple level with no pitfalls whatsoever, but let's say you start out with 3 lives, it might kick you back to the main menu if you lose all 3 or something like that. Anyways, the more important parts are, of course, the scripts. This one is a camera controller. I'm just opening it up in MonoDevelop. I used to use Visual Studio, but I find that MonoDevelop works just as well for Unity projects. Allow access. So yeah, here you can see that it's just the standard sort of Unity using statements for this top line. This one's for the camera controller, so it controls the camera. It focuses on the player, as you have seen when I was playing the game. Has a vector 3, and when it starts, it basically takes the transform position of the camera and then subtracts whatever the position of the player is. So that gives an offset, and then you can use that offset in the late update function to adjust the camera as needed. There are 2 more scripts, being the player controller and the rotator. This one is for the player controller, so this one controls all the player-based movements. So again, you have the regular kind of Unity engine using clauses and imports. And of course, since this was for the player controller, that's kind of how we define the function. We set the speed, we set the count text, which was the text that appeared in the top left-hand corner, and of course the win text, which appeared when we picked up all of the collectibles. So the win text for the updated game might only appear at, let's say, maybe level 5 or something. Maybe level 10 if I'm being more ambitious. So it also has a rigid body and an int count. The int count was for how many collectibles you pick up, and the rigid body is for the ball itself. So on start, this starting function, it gets the component of the ball, which was a rigid body, and that becomes our RB. We have our count, which is equal to 0 to begin with. If you want, maybe you could try, maybe I could try implementing it so that, the count doesn't reset when it moves to the next level. Set count text, which basically just calls the set count text function down here. That'll have the that alters the text a little bit so that it has count and then the number of pickups that we have collected. And then of course it has an if clause, which states that if we have more or equal to 12 pickups, then the win text is activated and it says that we win. And then the win text is set to an empty string if that's not true. The fixed update, this moves our ball. So the input.getAxis, that controls the horizontal movement of our ball, and the input.getAxis vertical gets the vertical movement for our ball. And I just simply map those to the arrow keys on my laptop, just because I don't have any better ways to control games really on my computer yet. Might get a controller or something eventually, but that's for a later date. Now for the movement, it has a vector 3. Most 3D games will usually have a vector 3, and even if you're making a 2D game within a 3D engine such as Unity, you'll still have usually a vector 3. I haven't seen too many vector 2s yet. So that takes the move horizontal. Why, of course, the ball is not moving upwards at all. If you're going up a hill, it might, but that's for a later point. And then move vertical, that's just our z-axis, so it's the x, y, z. And then the add force gets the movement, which was our vector 3 from the previous step, and multiplies it by a speed. The speed is any number that is attached to the ball itself, and it's just set on Unity rather than in the code. It could be set in the code if you wish, but of course the Unity demo did not say to do that, so it's up to you entirely. Yeah, just one of many ways that you can do several things inside of Unity. And then the on trigger enter, that just is for the ball colliding with the pickups. And you can see that if it's with the pickup, then it sets the pickup to be a false state so that it's invisible and you can't really pass through it or collect it again. Then it increments the count variable. So if it's at 1, then it becomes 2, etc. And then it calls the set count text, which was this function that we looked at previously. And the last script that we'll take a look at here is the rotator. I'm not sure why this one's loading so slowly, but please be patient with my laptop. It might be because I'm recording as well. Let's see. Yeah, just a minute. Gonna try. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. So again, it's just the 3. One of them had 4, but this one uses 3. It's just basically the basics. You'll have those usually at the start of every Unity game. This one's called rotator, so that's how you make the function for it. And inside the class function, we will have another function called update. That basically just makes the pickups rotate using a vector 3. This is how we do it, just an X, Y, Z, and then we get a time, delta time. So yeah, I will try and make sure that I include a brief demo, well, the same make under this YouTube video for any potential employers or for you guys who just want to mess around and see my little game here. And of course, it's still a work in progress. It'll get better as I pour more time into it, of course. But stay tuned because I have another game to show off. So until next time, you guys have yourselves a great day, /night, /whatever. And of course, I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.